Hello there, this is Coach Sammy33. Season 33 is officially underway. You can see some scores there trying to hide a couple. Before I actually dive into Florida State's start in Block 1, because both games are played, let's look at the top 25 and see how things are going to shake up there before we get into some live action or recapping action. So the first week is always really hard to do, and the main reason being we don't really have anything to go off of. New game, new difficulty, new teams for some, new players for some, new abilities for others. Just trying to figure out the landscape of where everyone fits in. One thing we do know, the top three teams stay the same across the coaches and media poll. LSU, Coach Bucknut, the reigning champ, two-time champ, sitting at number one, rightfully so. Jiggy, behind him at number two. Shell and Oregon at three. And then you start to have a little mixture of teams here, 4 through 6 on both sides. Some order of Bama, Clemson, and Ohio State. As we drop down to the rest of the top 10, coaches side, well, for both, you've got Georgia and Notre Dame 7, 8, Tennessee at 9, and then some variants. You got Big Mike at 10 in the coaches poll, 12 in the media poll. Illinois, 11 in the media, 12 in the coaches. Utah, 11 and 14 coaches and media. And then you just got a lot of stuff. Tennessee, Duke sitting at 10 in the media, 16 in the coaches. Jumper going from Florida Atlantic and a CFP bid to Duke. Oklahoma 17, you got USC, Texas Tech, Utah, Baylor and Pat, FSU Penguin and the Cyclone, Miami, Penn State, Ole Miss, Washington. Ole Miss is an interesting one. They sit at 24 in the coaches. In the media poll, others receiving votes down there at 16. In terms of group of five, we'll consider Washington State for this. Notre Dame is in its own realm, but Washington State sits at 18 in the coaches poll, 24 in the media. Chip and Central Michigan, 21 in the coaches poll, 25 in the media. So those are the only C5 teams to make the top 25. Some were close. Looking at the media poll, Memphis actually tied with Central Michigan. So I guess the tiebreaker is the alphabetical order. Not sure how that works, honestly, but right there, you've got Boise at 21. If you go to the other side, Memphis is sitting at 240, so 64 points behind Steam. And then if you're going down the list, you've got Boise and South Florida getting votes as well. Now, obviously, I'm a Florida State user, so talk a little about FSU. You can see in the coaches poll, just missed out by a couple of points, sitting at 26. And then on the media side, sitting at 22. So full disclosure, if we look at the ranking, I don't know, like kudos to whoever can get close to the top 25 in the preseason. The guide helps, but it's still really difficult to get this right. And let's be honest, that first poll is a mix of a lot of things. So looking down there, I sit at 81, 180 points away. And then you have the interesting votes here. The funny thing about these votes here is they all tried to vote in Missouri State, thus it wouldn't register their vote. So try to get their boy in the poll. That's why they're millions of miles away from everybody else. Look at the media poll, which is what I'm going to focus on. I sit near the bottom of the team. But one thing to look at my poll here, you've got LSU, Oregon, and Texas. Clemson 4, Ohio State 5. This was an interesting one. Like I wanted to put Jiggy 2, but I ended up putting Shell 2 because he lost in the final. So I think that Texas probably would be at 2, but that's just me. Paying respect to the end of last season, Texas Tech, Big Mike at 10, USC at 11, Pat at 12, Tennessee at 13, Colorado, yes, I actually said it out loud, 14, Miami 15. Put some respect on Penguin's name, got him at 16. Arizona State, Really good team on this year's game. I have them at 17. MJ Kemp. Illinois, I don't think as highly of that team as some others may, but the coach brings them up. 18. Oklahoma 19. Indiana 20. South Carolina and that monster at quarterback 21. NC State 22. Boise 23. Duke 24. And I don't care who coaches Nebraska, they will always be in my top 25. And I will try to keep them there as long as I can. And as you can see, I did not mention my team at all. No Florida State. I did not feel that I was deserving, and I have no issues whatsoever missing out on the top 25. If we're going to make it, we're going to have to earn it. We have the ample ability to do so given our schedule. ACC will be tough this year, and then out of conference, got Boise, one of the better G5 teams, better running games in the league, and Georgia in the first block. So, hey, go 2-0 in the first block, none of that matters anyway in terms of the top 25, right? Oh, with that said, let's see how action looks for FSU in block 1.